Obviously
You
not.
don't even know. You don't.
I'm just gonna go
Get on my level of knowledge about really just random stuff on
I just
PSN.
can't.
Anyway, Star Citizen's single player has been delayed again. No date given for the release of Squadron 42. This year's Citizen Con, which I guess is the Star Citizen convention, celebrated the 4th anniversary of the beginning of the Star Citizen development process, which is insane.
Jeez.
But the game, I mean, you can play the game right now.
Right.
And I saw a GIF today of that game that blew my freaking mind, and I was like, maybe I should buy in. It was of a jump ship over. You're in a planet in your ship, and they point up at another planet and activate something, and they literally do like a warp drive thing to the other planet, and my head was like, I was like, oh my god, that's amazing.
That really looks amazing.
My dad's been playing it. He says it's pretty. He says it's weird, but like once you get used to it, like it becomes super cool.
Yeah.
So.
Sounds like any space game.
But I needed like a joystick. Yeah. I would definitely need to get a joystick for it.
I mean,
Anyway, continuing on, Chris Roberts' team at Roberts Space Industries was expected to have the first episode of Star Citizen's single-player module called Squadron 42 available in the fall of last year. That release window has slipped again and again, with news of the latest delay coming from Roberts himself. Quote, "We want to do it right. It's really important that we do it right. As much as we wanted to have Squadron 42 for this year, it's not going to be this year because for all the polish we need to do." I don't know, whatever. That's what it says. It still needs more time.
Don't send death threats to the messenger.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they ended it with the demo of what I just described, like the jump engine, like from between planets and stuff and all that. So, very cool. Like I said, you can actually play Star Citizen right now in its alpha state. You have to buy into it, and I think the cheapest ship you can buy is $40, like $40, which isn't that bad. I'm gonna have to check again.
I have no clue.
Yeah, I remember looking into it at some point, and you can buy some expensive ships. I know that for sure. I'm trying to see where it's like pledge now or whatever.
This game's the biggest Kickstarter game, right?
Yeah, it's 100 and something. Yeah, so the cheapest ship is the Aurora MR-SC Starter, and it's $45. Okay. And with that, you can, like, if you buy a ship, you can literally, like, play the game. And let me go back, because I saw in the article it said how much money it had raised, and it says $127 million is how much it's raised.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah. So, and that wasn't all on Kickstarter. I think it made a couple million on Kickstarter. And then it continues to make that money on just people buying the ships. So when you buy a ship, you know, you are literally like kickstarting it in a way. That's how they're kind of doing it.
Interesting.
I mean, this game just seems incredible, like mind-blowing. The same way that like No Man's Sky does, but in a more...
Well, it seems like the way people thought when I saw that jump ship thing, I'm like, this is what I think people thought No Man's Sky was.
Yeah, now, don't oversell it.
Yeah,
because a lot of people thought some crazy things about that game.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, but when I see that, I'm like, oh my god! Like, they actually kind of pulled it off.
Yeah.
You know,
this game is mind blowing. I'm excited for it. Like, it's PC only at the moment, right?
Yes.
And my PC will not be able to play this probably.
Probably not. Yeah.
Any sufficient level. So I'm gonna be waiting on.
Yeah. Another thing about the campaign, the Squadron 42 campaign thing that people should be aware of is that they got like some crazy acting talent to do mocap. They got Gary Oldman and Mark Hamill.
Yeah, I was gonna mention Mark Hamill.
And yeah, Gillian Anderson, Andy Serkis, Ben Mendelsohn.
That's a lot of money they're spending for that shit.
And they're all good actors.
Like, that's all crazy. That's all really high-priced good actors. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
for the single player campaign. I wouldn't be surprised if they bring the single player campaign to consoles, but I would be surprised if they brought the multiplayer.
Why do you say that?
Like the overworld thing, like I don't know, maybe there's some kind of limitation that maybe they can't handle on the consoles because they made such a big deal about No Man's Sky, like, you know, using so much power to like do what it did, and this seems to be like doing 2-3 times what that was doing. So
is it procedural?
I think they'd have to make one for the consoles only, probably. So. Which, you know, just downscaled a little bit, you know.
From what I understand, I don't think it's procedural.
If it's not procedural,
I'm gonna actually.
What's the problem? It's just a bunch of data.
Okay, they might be because they have a thing on their YouTube called Procedural Planets 2.0.
Who knows?
And I'm gonna. But they look really cool. Like, the graphics in this game look freaking amazing.
Insane. Like, yeah, No Man's Sky has sort of that, like, stylistic vibe to it, and this just looks straight up realistic.
Yeah. And also, I like how the HUD is, like, super minimalistic.
Oh, yeah.
They also show in this video, oh my god, so they show on this planet, like, a sandstorm happens, and the first-person perspective, they like run into this building, and the building's like being torn apart by the sandstorm, and I'm like, oh my god, if this is procedural, that's insane. Like, but I mean, I'll believe it when I see it. I'm thinking about buying it at some point.
I think I'm gonna wait till
maybe around Christmas, or I'll just play it at my parents' house.
Yeah, that too. I can't believe I'd never be able to utter that phrase in my life, but I don't know. My parents don't game.
My dad does.
But so. I was thinking about maybe like until they announce like a beta. I'm not even sure if I really want to touch it while it's still in alpha.
They did do a beta weekend, and I got accepted, and I didn't play.
But like when it goes into open beta.
I think I was gone. Yeah. We'll see. I think this game is gonna be like one of those things that's worked on for a long time. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
But man, does it look cool.
It reminds me of how Minecraft, where it's like, yeah, there's an official release, but it's like, what does that matter?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so popular in its beta, it was like...
The 1.0 doesn't really mean much. Because they're still working on it, still doing things.
Always improving it.
Messing.
Yeah.
And that's one of the benefits, I feel like, of games these days.
Games these days. These kids, these children. All right, let's get away from Star Citizen though. We could wax poetic about it all day, but